Hey guys, so today we are going to be vibe coding a time tracker application. So I wrote my application in Angular quite a while ago, and I want to migrate this to Next.js with Tailwind. So this is what we're going to end up with. We have our timer where you can create time entries here. Then you have a week and a list view to see the actual time entries. This is my existing application with the time entry functionality that we are moving over. So you have the list view and the week view here, and then here's where you can actually create your time entries. So I would say like creating a YouTube video of me converting my app from Angular to Next.js using cursor. Okay, and then I would say this took me 2 hours here, and then I would select a project and click add, and then that's going to add it here. And there's a lot of functionality like editing and stuff, but we're just going to do the most critical functionality just to start. So yeah, let's dive into it. Okay, so I have my prompt here. So I'm saying I want to migrate our timer component in our Angular app to our Next.js app. We can start with the week view and the timer component where a user can enter a manual time entry, or start a running timer where they can select the project, optional task if the project supports it, and tags. So these are the Angular components, giving it the timer service, the timer component, and the timer component HTML. I should probably give it the week as well to help it. And then giving it the API service file. So this file is an auto-generated file from our backend. So we're not changing the backend at all. We're just going to be reusing what we have since all the endpoints already exist. It's going to be using this file to talk to the backend. That's how it works in the Angular application as well. We have this service proxies file. It's just a wrapper over calling the REST API, basically. So I'm going to be using the Claude 3.7 Sonnet Max, because honestly, this is going to be quite a big ask to see if it can do this. Like our timer service file is quite huge, and there's a lot of logic here. I don't know how much it's going to be able to do. I'm also curious how much this is going to cost me. So we'll go look now how much I'm currently at. So $13.48. Okay. So we'll see how much this is going to burn. So let's go. Taking a minute. Okay. It's searching our API service file. It's quite slow. So we'll speed this up. Yeah. It seems like it's finding all the relevant service classes that it needs. Time entries, projects, tag service. This is a huge file, so this is probably using a lot of credits, I would imagine, because of all the code it has to read in. I'm not sure because it's searching the code base. Okay, now yeah, it's looking at our existing Next.js project to figure out how to integrate this component. Okay, I have no time components really yet, so shouldn't find anything. Probably should have told it that we have nothing. Maybe we can do that. We actually have nothing. Okay. Let's create the necessary components for our migration. First, let's create the time model and the necessary UI components. Okay, let's let it do that. Okay, creating time, hours, minutes is 24-hour mode, toString, creating a time input. I feel like, yeah, this is too much to ask of it. Okay, let's fix the linter errors. Okay, now it's creating a time duration component. Okay, now it's creating this timer service in Next.js. That's going to be interesting because that's a huge file. It's taking a while. Yeah, seems like they can't create this timer service file. So it's going to try a different approach step by step. Okay, creating the different modes, list, week, timer mode, manual timer. Now let's create the timer service, user timer. Where did it put this? Yeah, it's struggling to really work on this huge file. All right, so still struggling. This is good. It's also refactoring that huge service class into many smaller components. Whether everything will work, who knows? Use timer state, load projects, load tags, load checking for running entry, refresh running entry. It's a lot. Highly doubt this is going to work. Okay, now it's creating the component. Timer list, timer week. Okay, seems to be done. So that took definitely a while, but here's what it was able to do. So created the basic models and types needed for the timer, implemented reusable components, time input, time duration, created hooks for timer functionality, used timer state, implemented the UI components, so our form for the main timer input form, then the list for the list view of the time entries, the week, and then set up the page routes. So we have timer/list for the list view, and then the week is a dynamic route with a year, month, and day. And then common layout with timer form at the top. Interesting. Okay, that is a really good breakdown. We'll see if it works though. Okay, let's see how many credits we used. Okay, so that was quite expensive. Wow. That cost us around $1.50. Let's see if the results we got are any good. All right, logged in. And now if we go to our timer here, see what we have. All right, so errors, and there's a lot of errors in here. Okay, so it added use client to a lot of the components it added. We refresh now, and now, yeah, getting another error. So timer former, the time form. Yeah, we don't have a calendar component that I know of, and I don't believe it added one. So that's cool. It's gonna use Radix UI to get those. So I just wanna make sure it uses Shadcn component. But yeah, if you don't know Shadcn, they have a CLI where you can add the components to your project. So it would just copy over those components and add it to your source code. So now we have this calendar component, which is a Shadcn component, but then you can go in and customize that. Okay, so it's done now, and let's see what we get. Oh wow, there we go. So there it is. Doesn't look terrible. Does anything work though? It doesn't look like it. Does this work? Hello world. Yeah, I don't see any of our projects. If I stop this, yeah, and our time entries aren't loading either. We have time entries on Saturday and none are showing. So I'll say no time entries are showing in either view from the backend. So this is our list, and then, okay, it's already changing it. Let's update the week component to also fetch data from the backend. So I guess it didn't actually implement it. Okay, strange, yeah, it just didn't bother implementing that. I don't know why I just randomly started using next off here. Strange. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell it we're not using next off. Okay, so that removed the use of next off. Yeah, we just passed in user ID, which will be undefined, and it will just load it for the current user, which is correct. Okay, and now it's not working. Seems like it's stuck in a loop. The week view is not working. Nothing is loading from the backend, and we are getting console. Oh, yeah, I think it's because as user service. Yeah, because we have these wrapper services that control the base URL that it's using, and I don't think it's calling the right API right now. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it fixed that issue, wrapped our time entry service in another class. So let's see if that fixed it. Okay, log in. Okay, now let's see. We go to timer. Oh, there we go. It's working, but it keeps refreshing. I'm gonna switch to a different model now because that's costing a lot. So let's go to 3.7. So let's see if it can help fix this issue now, because now it's stuck just refreshing continuously. Okay, so it's somewhat working, but now it's just reloading the time entries and the component is flickering. So yeah, there's something just causing it to not finish loading. Could be the use effect. It's probably this. Yeah, the service instance on each render. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's see if that fixed it. It worked. Wow. Not for the week though, I don't see my time entry, but for the list view, it's there. For the week, I don't see our time entries though. So I should have this one and this one. So I should see this one technically. Yeah, our projects aren't loading. I probably need to wrap these as well. Okay, so we got the week view working, but it's not exactly what I want. Our week view in the old application, you can see that when you click on the different days, then it shows the time entries. Here it's just showing them under the actual date itself when you don't click on them. It's not terrible, but that's not what I want. I'll give it this prompt. The week view isn't how we wanted it. It should show one day at a time, and when we click on a day, it loads the entries, like in the screenshot. So we'll see what it can come up with. There we go. Doesn't look that nice though. And you make it nicer. Okay, so it's a bit better. But now let's get this working. So none of this works. These aren't loading our projects or our tags. I think I know why, because it's not using the API correctly. So we'll work on that now. So I'll say the timer form isn't working properly. No projects or tags are showing. So just letting it know that it's not working properly, no project or tags are showing up, and telling it that it's probably because there's no API service class. So we'll see if we can figure that out. All right, let's see if this fixed it now. select project. Okay, cool. Our projects are all there. Doesn't look great, but they are there. I'll just mention it. The drop down for projects is not great. Can you improve it? So these are the tasks for the ones that have tasks, and then these are the actual projects. And then yeah, they can select the tags, testing, starting, time entry, and I can start this. Yes. If I stop it, what happens? Yeah, it doesn't work. That'll be the next thing to fix. Okay, that's better looking, yeah. Okay, so that's the client name and then the project. I like that. And then you have the task here. It's definitely better. The whole timer form looks off and things aren't well aligned. So just gonna have it improve the timer form as well. Just mentioning that it looks off and things aren't well aligned. So see what it comes up with and see if it is able to make it look a bit cleaner. Like yeah, we just have this floating below here. Okay, so this is what it came up with. Now, there's too much spacing. Okay, so this is what it came up with. It's okay for now. Let's see if it works. I'm not sure it's working. Yeah, so the add does nothing. So let's have it try to fix that. So the add and stop timer entry functionality doesn't seem to work. The entry isn't added to the list below, and it stays in the form. Now let's see if it works. I don't know why it changed this. What? Okay, cool. Fucking AI. Okay, so it seems like it messed things up. Broke the loading. Nice. This is great. You broke the loading of the weekly time entries and also removed the button to switch to list view. Yeah, so it seems like there's some infinite loops. Okay, then we go to the timer, loading time entries. Week view is not working. The week view is stuck in a loop. It just keeps reloading the time entries and flickering. Okay, so we fixed those regressions. We now have the week view working again. Let's see if this form actually works now. So working on implementing time entry functionality. Then we'll select our project, custom app. We'll start with a manual timer. It's probably easier for it to work, and click add. It's adding it now. And your time entry has been saved successfully. Okay, and which date should be added to the 19th? Maybe we need to refresh it. Yeah, I can see a bug here that's showing all the days, but no, there it is. Working on implementing time entry functionality. So that's working. And now we can see if the start timer is working. Can't change the description though. Yeah, so a lot of the functionality and how it works is not correct. So it's going to be many iterations to get it back up to what it was. And then, yeah, stop the timer and then added it. So all in all, that's pretty good what we managed to achieve in around 2 hours of work. We literally have maybe 60% of the functionality here of this that we were able to migrate. So that's pretty good. This actual timer took me weeks to do. And yeah, was able to do that in 2 hours. So it's pretty crazy. The code quality doesn't seem terrible. Yeah, overall, pretty impressive what we can do in such a short amount of time. Thanks for watching, guys.